Welcome to There For You Dog Training's muzzle conditioning video. Step 1 and 2, introducing the muzzle by looking and then touching. Show your dog the muzzle. Reward your dog for either touching or looking at the muzzle. Some dogs may go straight to touching, while others may need to start with just looking. When your dog looks at the muzzle, mark and then reward them. I use a clicker to mark kangaroo, which tells her she did the right thing. Some dogs that have had bad experiences with muzzles may need to start with it further away. Once your dog is easily and happily looking at the muzzle, move on to touching. Step 3. Putting their face in. Hold your muzzle in place while working on all of these steps. Moving the muzzle towards them can be scary. We want them to put it on willingly. You can encourage them to put their nose in the muzzle in a couple of different ways. The first is to reward small steps towards getting their nose fully in the muzzle. You start with the dog's nose being just outside of the muzzle. Mark and reward for this first. Once your dog does that easily, only mark and reward for their nose going further in the muzzle. Continue small steps of them moving their nose until your dog has their nose fully in. The other method is to lure your dog with food. Take a treat and drop it in the muzzle if it's closed off, or hold it on the other side of the muzzle. When your dog puts their nose in, mark and reward them. A trick you can use is smearing peanut butter inside of the muzzle. Step 4. Increasing duration. Once your dog is happily putting their nose in the muzzle, you move on to this step. Start at having your dog's nose in the muzzle for 1 second. After 1 second goes by, mark, remove the muzzle, and reward. Practice this several times at just 1 second. Do not try to increase your duration if your dog shows any signs of anxiety or stress. Once your dog can reliably keep their nose in for 1 second and is comfortable doing so, move on to 2 seconds. Continue slowly increasing duration until you reach at least 10 seconds before step 5. Do not increase your duration if your dog shows signs of stress or anxiety at the current step. You can use the peanut butter trick mentioned earlier to help practice duration. A trick to help increase duration and decrease frustration is called ping-ponging. You do this by going back and forth on how long you ask for the muzzle to be on. For example, if your dog can do a maximum of 4 seconds, then ask for 2 seconds, then 4, then 3, etc., etc. Step 5. Straps. Do not move on to this step if your dog shows any stress with the previous steps. For every step in this video, you should never move on if your dog shows signs of stress or anxiety. Some dogs have to start with you just moving your hand near their head. Then, you can move on to just touching the strap. Once your dog is comfortable with hands moving around them, you can now move the strap. Grab one strap and bring it up to touch the dog's neck, mark, remove it, and reward. Start with only touching the strap to the neck for as short as possible. Work on both sides individually and then together. You'll want to slowly build up the duration on the straps touching. Once your dog is comfortable with this for several seconds, you can move on. Next, we can now try securing the muzzle. Once secured, mark and then remove immediately. Reward your dog. Again, slowly build up duration and ping-pong how long it's secured. Build up to at least 10 seconds of duration before moving on. While our dogs may be comfortable with being stationary with the muzzle on, you may find they are awkward when they try to move or don't want to move at all. This is normal and brings us to the last step. Step 6. Getting used to moving. Ask your dog for a simple cue they know how to do well, like sit. Mark, reward, and then remove the muzzle. Slowly build up how long the muzzle is on while we ask for simple cues. I like to start with more stationary cues like sit, paw, high five, etc. Once they are moving more comfortably, we can ask for more dynamic moves. Cues like spinning and even asking them to stand and lie down can be helpful. Now we can try walking. Start with just one step at a time. Take one step, mark, and reward. Watch your dog's body language. Depending on their comfort so far, you might have to start with a couple steps and then remove the muzzle. After your dog is no longer awkward when walking, continue to slowly increase how long they walk for. Keep rewarding for longer durations. And finally, take your skills outside. Reward outside just like you did while practicing inside. Don't be surprised if your dog can't walk as long outside as they can inside. This is normal, especially if your dog is a sniffer. The muzzle will move toward their eyes when sniffing, which is something to get used to. Slowly increase duration outside, just like you did inside. Here's an important tip. If you are muzzle training only for specific scary situations like the vet, make sure you also have your dog wear the muzzle during fun times like walks. This is because if you only ever put it on for scary situations, they will learn the muzzle means bad things and you will ruin your training. I hope this helped. Check out the description for a link on a video that goes over proper muzzle fit. Thanks for watching and feel free to check us out at thereforyourdogtraining.com.